What is going on YouTube? Run and Gun Sports here, back with another video. Today we're going to be starting our new series for the offseason for the NFL, talking about each team's 2020 season and about what they can do in the offseason to have a better 2021. So today's episode we are going to be focusing on the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if you have any Jacksonville Jaguars friends, please send this to them and let's get right into the video. So 2020, the Jaguars went 1-15 after winning week 1. They lost every game since, just a terrible start. And Gardner Minshew was just injured in and out throughout the year. Mike Glennon had to come in. Mike Glennon on the year went 1,072 yards, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. It's not very good stats right there. So just lack of leadership really in the 2020 season. Obviously, you can tell 1-15. This didn't do terrible, but he did average, a little below average, 2,259 yards and 16 touchdowns. Both Mike Glennon and Gardner Minshew had 5 interceptions. Just a struggling year for the team, clearly 1-15. They did fire Doug Maroon, their head coach. He's now the offensive line coach at the University of Alabama, coaching college football now. Nick Saban brought him in. Hopefully he can turn around his coaching career. We'll see what happens there. But the draft picks, they have 2 first-round picks, one in the first overall pick and the 25th overall pick. I think most people are assuming that the Jacksonville Jaguars will be selecting Trevor Lawrence, quarterback out of Clemson, with the first overall pick. We already know who Trevor Lawrence is. Possibly could have been the Heisman winner this year if he did not get COVID-19 and miss 2 games. He had 3,153 yards and 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. It's a little eyebrow raiser, the 5 interceptions. People are a little bit worried if he turns the ball over too much, but I think he can figure it out with some NFL head coaching. The Jaguars also have the 25th overall pick in the first round in the draft. A lot of people think that they will be taking J.C. Horn, a cornerback out of South Carolina. We'll see. If they do take J.C. Horn, they do need cornerbacks severely. If they pick them up, that would really help as the team need. J.C. Horn and C.J. Henderson, 2 young corners together, I think would be a good fit. And we'll see what happens if they do take them. A lot of people do think they'll take a running back, Najee Harris out of Alabama, but I don't think that they will. James Robinson, the rookie, had a very productive season on the year, just being a rookie. So we'll see if they do take him and how well that will help their Jaguars defense turn around. They were ranked 31st in the league on the year for rankings. Not a very good year. The Jaguars rankings, their offense was ranked 30th in the league, and the defense was ranked 31st. Obviously, you're not going to win a lot of football games with that. They only won 2, clearly. So right now we're going to go into the team needs. The Jaguars' team needs right now are wide receivers. They have a lot of young, talented wide receivers, DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault. But I think Allen Robinson is interested in coming back there. He had originally played in Jacksonville before being shipped off to the Chicago Bears. He's gone public with his frustration. And he's a free agent this year, and I think it'd be a very good move for Allen Robinson to come in and mentor these young receivers. We see it in the Raiders where they have a few young receivers, but I think they also have Darren Waller, who's a pretty older guy, can kind of mentor these guys. Not too old, but knows what he's doing and can help coach these guys, as well as Nelson Agholor. They may not be putting up insane numbers, Nelson Agholor, but he can still sort of mentor these young rookie receivers. Defensive tackle, a lot of people think that they will be taking Christian Barmore from Alabama in the 3rd round of the draft. I think that would be a pretty good fit. The Jaguars, it's hard to believe that the Jaguars just a few years ago were playing in the AFC Championship versus New England Patriots and only a play away from winning that AFC Championship game and possibly making a Super Bowl. It's just shocking. Also, they did have Jalen Ramsey back then. That is why the Jaguars do have 2 first-round picks in the first round this year. Also a way stronger defense back then, but we'll see how they can try and build that defense back, because that was definitely the strong suit. Blake Bortles, our QB, who I believe is the backup for the Los Angeles Rams right now, the 3rd stringer behind Walford, and obviously Matthew Stafford, who was just traded there. So if they can build around a better defense, I really think that would really help their team win some games personally. They also are looking for tight ends. Pat Freiermuth from Penn State, 6'5", 258 pounds, big red zone threat from Penn State. They're looking at him to draft him in the 4th round. I think that would be a good fit. They haven't really had any tight ends, so we'll see what they do if they draft him. Also, they need a lot of cornerbacks. Free agent Mckenzie Alexander, we'll go into a little more depth out there. They have been talking about signing him. The Jaguars also have $74 million in cap space, first in the NFL, which is a ridiculous amount of money for them to go out and get good players. But you'd expect that from a team who struggled as much as this year, going 1-15 on the year. But also, new coaching staff, Urban Meyer coming in. Coached college football for 33 years, a 3-time national champ. His NCAA record is 187-32. He's 12-3 in bowl games, so pretty good record right there. Hopefully he can try and turn around the team, but I personally don't see him as a good fit in Jacksonville. College football is a lot different from the NFL. We haven't seen a college football coach go from college to the NFL in a while, and there's just no signs of Urban Meyer being that person for me. I don't see what the Jaguars see in him, and they're paying him a ton of money for it. Urban Meyer left with health issues from Ohio State. For me, it's a little bit interesting that he's coming back all of a sudden when there's millions of dollars in his face that he would never be getting at the college football level. So we'll see if he can turn around that program. Also, a 3rd-round draft pick for the Jaguars might be looking at Nico Collins, a wide receiver from Michigan, being a good fit. I think Nico Collins, very talented, big body receiver from Michigan. 3 years at Michigan, he really only played 78 receptions, 1,388 yards, and 13 touchdowns. So if he can get there, and they could have a really good group of young receivers, and bring in Allen Robinson to kind of mentor these young receivers, I think it would be a great and very dangerous receiving corps for this Jaguars team. We're going to start talking about the next year's schedule for the Jaguars. Put a little early prediction for them. Obviously, we don't know what the team record is now, but I'm just going to assume that they get Trevor Lawrence and pick up a couple guys from free agency. I think their floor record, which would be their very worst record, would be 2-14, which obviously is just only a one win improvement. So obviously that's not very promising, but they're still going to be a young team. I don't think that they'll make the playoffs right away. I mean, unless Trevor Lawrence can put together something crazy, which who knows, he might. He's a very talented quarterback. Some people might think he's the best college football quarterback of all time. He beat Alabama as a freshman in the national championship. We'll see if they do, how well they'll do, but I think their very highest they'll go is 6-10, but I think 4-12 will be just about where they'll end up. I think that's a legit prediction. I think their highest they could be 6-10, the lowest 2-14. 4-12 I think is where they'll actually end up. They have to play all of the NFC West next year. That's going to be a pretty dangerous conference. Russell Wilson, the Seahawks, obviously won the division this year. The Rams pick up Matthew Stafford and that strong defense, maybe the quarterback that they've been looking for all this time. The 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo, that defense is going to be strong and healthy again. Also did lose their defensive coordinator, so we'll see if they'll do better or if they'll do worse, or if they'll stay the same without Robert Saleh. And the Cardinals obviously were very short of making the playoffs last year. We'll see how the Cardinals can improve with drafting. Cliff Kingsbury, people think the time is running out on him, has not made the playoffs since he has been there. People starting to claim overrated for him, maybe the hot seat. But I think the Jags have a couple free agent targets they need to go after. I've expressed Allen Robinson, I think, would be a very huge pickup for them. Frustrated with the Bears, and obviously they have the money to do it. $74 million in cap space would be a great fit. Cornerback Mckenzie Alexander, I think him with rookie C.J. Henderson would just make a great fit at the young cornerback position, and just would really resemble that young defense that they had when they were in the AFC Championship versus the Patriots with Jalen Ramsey. Trent Williams, the left tackle from the Washington football team, when I was writing my notes down, I put protect young Kiwi in all caps. If you're going to draft a guy like Trevor Lawrence, one of the most highly coveted draft prospects of all time, you have to protect him. Got to make him feel comfortable. He's not going to want to play for you if he's getting hit as many times as like Russell Wilson is, or he's got to have a good O-line for him to want to stay and enjoy his time in Jacksonville. That is going to wrap it up for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, thank you. If you guys could leave a like down below, it'd be much appreciated. Share this to your Jacksonville Jaguars fans or any NFL fans. Thank you.